As Beijing's Winter Olympics open, the Russian president is guest of honor. As they stood united, China told NATO to rule out expansion and the West to abandon Cold War.
Well, congratulations to the Cold War boomers that are running NATO and the United States and the United Kingdom Armed Forces. You have successfully alienated Russia to the point where it has to go and ask China for help. Because you just couldn't do it, could you? You couldn't just leave Russia alone. You couldn't just bring them into the Western sphere of influence. You couldn't just openly extend a hand of friendship to them and welcome them over to our side. You couldn't just make a deal with them, say, you guys have got resources, we've got money, let's do some kind of trade, like the fucking Germans did. But you couldn't do it. You just had to keep that Cold War mentality going, didn't you? Because it's the Russians. Russia, ooh, Russia, we've got to be scared of them. Well, guess what? Russia is not communist anymore, and it hasn't been for some time. You openly promised them, after the end of the Cold War, that you would not expand further eastwards. And you have. And you're wondering why Vladimir Putin is so pissed off. A positive relationship between the West and Russia is fundamentally better for everybody. But for some reason, you bloody idiots are so adamant on having a negative relationship with them. Russia is in no position to fight a hot war with the West. But now that they've got China on their side, they might just be able to. And this was your doing. In the grand scheme of things, when it comes to international affairs, China is the biggest threat to the world. And you have successfully alienated Russia to the point where they have actually gone and aligned themselves with them. I know how angry this is making me, but I'm just so fed up with the West's attempt to make Russia out to be the big bad enemy. And I'm not exactly pro-Russia myself. I don't have pro-Russian sympathies or ties to the Kremlin or anything like that. But what I do know is that it is not a communist state anymore, whereas China is. Although if you want to make any arguments, you could say it's more of a fascist state, but still, you know what I'm saying. It is no longer ideologically possessed with this spirit of anti-Western liberalism. When you compare it to the Soviet Union, because I know people are going to say, well, Putin's a dictator. I know. I really don't understand why we don't just tease Russia with the idea of coming over to our side instead. We have so much we could offer them. I honestly cannot work out what the geopolitical endgame is with this situation. Don't get me wrong, it is a corrupt oligarchy. And I know what people are going to say. They're going to say, well, why should we? It's a horrible country. So Saudi Arabia. But we don't hold the Saudis to the same standards as ours. I'd rather have Russia on our side than Saudi Arabia. I could tell you that right now. Why can we not just use Russia as some kind of giant resource block that we just buy things from? It would be mutually beneficial for them and for the West. Ugh, I'm so sick to death of this crap now.